reveals things Golden Girls producers hid from fans. Estelle Getty was born Estelle Cher on July 25, 1923 in New York City. Raised in the Lower East Side of Manhattan by Polish-Jewish immigrant parents, Getty grew up in a modest household that valued culture, family, and resilience. Her early exposure to the vibrant energy of New York's theater scene sparked a lifelong love of acting, though it would take many years of perseverance before she found mainstream success. Throughout her young adulthood, she balanced her passion for performing with the responsibilities of marriage and motherhood, all while enduring the challenges of an entertainment industry that often overlooked older women and unconventional talents. After graduating from Seward Park High School in New York City, Estelle Getty, born Etta Gettleman, remained living at home with her parents on the Lower East Side. Although she was filled with big dreams of making it as an actress, her early aspirations were met with skepticism, especially from her father, who doubted the practicality of a show business career. Coming from a working-class Jewish immigrant background, her family had instilled traditional values that emphasized stability and security over creative risk-taking. Her father, Charles Gettleman, a Polish-born glass installer, worried that his daughter would face constant rejection and financial hardship in such a competitive and uncertain profession. Despite this lack of encouragement at home, Estelle's passion for acting remained undeterred. To support herself while still pursuing her dreams, Getty took a job as a secretary, a practical occupation that offered regular hours and a steady paycheck. Importantly, this position allowed her enough flexibility to attend acting classes and auditions in the afternoons and evenings. Balancing employment with her artistic ambitions became a way of life for Getty. Even as she typed up reports or filed paperwork by day, she never lost sight of the stage lights that she hoped would one day shine on her. She often squeezed in auditions after work or on weekends, determined to make inroads in the competitive New York theater world. Throughout the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s, Getty steadily built a modest resume in the New York theater scene. She became a regular fixture in small productions, often cast in character parts that highlighted her comedic timing and expressive face. While these roles helped her develop her craft, they were seldom high-profile or financially rewarding. Meanwhile, she also fulfilled her roles as a wife and mother, raising two sons, Carl and Barry, with her husband, Arthur Gettleman. The family lived in Queens, and Estelle would often commute long hours into Manhattan for both work and auditions. It was a difficult juggling act, performing the roles of homemaker, wage earner, and aspiring actress all at once. She later recalled how exhausting it was to get the kids to school, go to the office, cook dinner, and still make it to an evening rehearsal or performance. Yet despite the fatigue and setbacks, Getty persisted, deeply driven by her love for acting and the belief that one day her big break would come. The breakthrough finally arrived in 1982, when she was nearly 60 years old, an age by which many actors have long given up or retired. Her life changed dramatically when she landed the part of Mrs. Beckhoff in Harvey Fierstein's Torch Song trilogy. Fierstein had specifically written the role with Getty in mind after seeing her in a smaller production, struck by her ability to blend warmth, sarcasm, and emotional depth. Torch Song trilogy was a groundbreaking play that dealt with themes of homosexuality, family, and acceptance. And Getty's performance as the protagonist's conservative but ultimately loving mother earned widespread acclaim. Her portrayal captured both the generational tension and the deep affection between a mother and her gay son. Critics praised her nuanced performance, and she received a nomination for a Drama Desk Award, an honor she considered one of the most validating moments of her long, hard-fought career. Getty continued to perform the role of Mrs. Beckhoff for the next 4 years in both Broadway and off-Broadway productions, gaining increasing recognition within the theater community. It was this performance that ultimately caught the attention of producers Paul Younger-Witt, Tony Thomas, and Susan Harris, who were casting for a new NBC sitcom titled The Golden Girls. Although the role of Sophia Petrillo was originally conceived as a minor character, Getty's audition was so memorable that the producers decided to expand the role and cast her as a central figure in the show. When Getty began filming The Golden Girls in 1985, she was tasked with playing Sophia Petrillo, a feisty, sharp-tongued Sicilian mother of Dorothy's Bornak. To convincingly portray a woman in her 80s, despite being only in her early 60s, Getty underwent a dramatic transformation. She used heavy stage makeup, prosthetics, and large eyeglasses to age herself, and wore a white wig that became a defining feature of Sophia's appearance. In a twist of irony, Getty was actually younger than Bea Arthur, the actress who played her daughter Dorothy. Yet Getty fully embodied the character, delivering zingers and heartfelt wisdom with equal flair. Her portrayal of Sophia became one of the most beloved aspects of the show, and audiences were drawn to her unique combination of no-nonsense candor and underlying tenderness. In 1988, her work was recognized with one of television's highest honors, the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Getty's acceptance of the award was both emotional and triumphant, a moment that symbolized decades of persistence, struggle, and ultimately, victory. For many fans and aspiring performers, her late-in-life success became a source of inspiration, proving that it's never too late to achieve your dreams. The Golden Girls ran for 7 successful seasons, from 1985 to 1992, earning critical acclaim and a loyal fan base. 6 of the 7 seasons consistently ranked in the top 10 of the Nielsen ratings, a rare feat for any television program. The show's cultural impact was significant, tackling serious issues such as aging, death, sexual identity, and female friendship with humor and grace. However, when Bea Arthur decided to leave the show to pursue other creative opportunities, The Golden Girls concluded its run. That same year, Getty, along with co-stars Rue McClanahan and Betty White, transitioned into a spin-off series titled The Golden Palace. Although the spin-off retained the essence of the original show, it failed to replicate its popularity and was canceled after 1 season. Nevertheless, Getty continued to work steadily, making guest appearances on a number of popular TV shows throughout the 1990s. She had memorable roles on Empty Nest and Nurses, both set in the same fictional universe as The Golden Girls, as well as comedic or heartfelt appearances in Blossom, Touched by an Angel Mad About You and the Nanny, often playing characters similar to Sophia in tone and spirit. In addition to her television work, Getty also had a number of notable film credits. Prior to The Golden Girls, she had small roles in films such as Tootsie and Mask, where she worked alongside Hollywood heavyweights like Dustin Hoffman and Cher. One of her more prominent film roles came in 1992, when she starred opposite Sylvester Stallone in the action comedy Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot. Although the film was critically panned, Getty's performance was praised for her comedic timing and likability, and it further cemented her status as a pop culture icon. Amidst her busy schedule, Getty found time to reflect on her extraordinary life. In 1988, at the height of her television fame, she published her autobiography, If I Knew Then What I Know Now, So What?, written with the assistance of journalist Steve Delson. In the book, she candidly discussed her long road to success, the struggles of balancing family and career, and the challenges of growing older in an industry obsessed with youth. Her memoir was both humorous and poignant, revealing the woman behind the wisecracking Sophia. It offered encouragement to those who felt overlooked or discouraged in their own lives. In 1993, Getty also released an exercise video specifically aimed at senior citizens. Inspired by her role as Sophia and her own experiences with aging, she wanted to promote health, vitality, and self-confidence for older adults. The video combined gentle exercises with her trademark humor, making it accessible and entertaining for her target audience. Estelle Getty, beloved by millions as the feisty and sharp-tongued Sophia Petrillo on The Golden Girls, once opened up in candid interviews and behind-the-scenes conversations about the lesser-known realities of working on one of television's most iconic sitcoms. While the show brought laughter and warmth to millions of viewers worldwide, Estelle later shared that not everything behind the scenes was as golden as it appeared on screen. Her revelations shed light on both the challenges and deeply human experiences behind the making of the hit series. One of the biggest surprises Getty revealed was how much effort it took for her to portray Sophia, despite being the youngest of the four main actresses. While audiences assumed she was the oldest, Getty was actually more than a year younger than Bea Arthur, who played her daughter, Dorothy. To convincingly play an 80-something Sicilian grandmother, Getty had to endure hours in the makeup chair each day. This included elaborate prosthetics, wigs, and a heavy makeup routine that aged her significantly. Getty later confessed that the transformation process was grueling, especially for someone who suffered from claustrophobia, and the wigs sometimes caused her migraines. Yet she soldiered on, driven by her passion for the character and her gratitude for landing a late-in-life breakthrough role. Beyond the physical transformation, Estelle also shared the emotional toll of working on the series. She struggled with intense stage fright and performance anxiety, especially during the early seasons. Unlike her co-stars who had extensive television experience, Getty came primarily from theater and had not worked much in front of a camera. She revealed that sometimes her nerves would get the best of her during tapings, leading to forgotten lines or shaky delivery. The producers and fellow cast members were supportive, but the pressure to match the comedic timing and polish of veterans like Bea Arthur and Betty White weighed heavily on her. According to crew members, her anxiety was so intense that she occasionally had panic attacks on set, and her dressing room had to be outfitted as a calming space with soft lighting and lavender-scented candles. Getty also hinted at interpersonal tensions that existed behind the scenes, details that producers tried to keep well hidden from the public. While the cast projected a sisterly camaraderie on screen, Estelle admitted that the relationships among the women were sometimes complicated. Bea Arthur, for instance, was known to be private and occasionally aloof, and Getty often felt intimidated by her. Meanwhile, Betty White's chipper, extroverted personality sometimes clashed with Bea's dry, sarcastic humor. Although they remained professional, Getty confessed in interviews that the dynamic among the four actresses was not always as warm as fans believed. There were days when tensions simmered on set, but everyone understood the importance of maintaining professionalism and delivering a quality show to the fans. Another behind-the-scenes truth Getty revealed was about the show's handling of social issues. While The Golden Girls was praised for addressing topics like LGBTQ+ rights, aging, and illness, Getty said some of the show's most progressive moments were initially met with resistance from network executives. Scripts that tackled AIDS, same-sex relationships, or elder care sometimes had to go through several revisions to satisfy censors and advertisers. Estelle, a lifelong activist and supporter of LGBTQ+ rights, her son was openly gay and was especially proud of these episodes and pushed for them to be handled with authenticity and heart. She once shared that she had to fight to keep certain lines in a script that dealt with AIDS awareness, using her growing influence on the show to advocate for voices often silenced in mainstream media at the time. Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking secrets Estelle Getty revealed later in life was how she began to struggle with her memory while the show was still filming. When it was closed until years later, Getty had early signs of dementia and was often overwhelmed by the volume of lines she had to memorize each week. To hide this from audiences and producers, she would sometimes write her lines on props or furniture on set. Bea Arthur, who had a deep respect for Estelle, despite their differences, reportedly helped her run lines before tapings, and stagehands would discreetly find ways to assist her during scenes. Producers, recognizing how essential Estelle was to the show's heart, chose to support her privately rather than make her condition public. After the series ended, Getty became increasingly open about the dual nature of her experience, grateful for the once-in-a-lifetime role that brought her global fame, but also haunted by the physical and emotional toll it had taken on her. She once remarked that while the world saw Sophia as effortlessly funny and wise, the woman behind the character was often scared, anxious, and struggling to keep up. Despite all this, Estelle Getty's legacy as a trailblazer in television remains untouched. Her willingness to speak honestly about the hidden realities of working in Hollywood gave fans a deeper appreciation for the resilience, talent, and heart she brought to every scene. Estelle Getty, beloved for her iconic role as the sharp-tongued, yet deeply compassionate Sophia Petrillo on The Golden Girls, passed away in the early morning hours of July 22, 2008, at her home in Los Angeles. She was 84 years old at the time of her death, which was attributed to complications from Lewy body dementia, a progressive and ultimately debilitating neurological disease. This form of dementia is one of the most common after Alzheimer's and is characterized by abnormal protein deposits in the brain, leading to severe cognitive decline, motor impairment, and behavioral changes. Getty's family released a statement confirming that she had battled this disease for years, and by the end of her life, it had robbed her of many of her memories and much of her ability to communicate. Following her death, Getty was laid to rest at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, one of the most famous final resting places in Los Angeles, known for being the burial site of numerous entertainment legends. Her grave site, a peaceful and well-tended spot amidst the storied grounds, features a headstone engraved with the words, "With love and laughter," a fitting tribute to a woman who brought so much joy to audiences around the world. Above the inscription is a Star of David, signifying her Jewish heritage and faith, both of which were central to her identity. Getty, born Estelle Getty in New York City to Polish-Jewish immigrants, was proud of her roots and carried that sense of cultural identity with her throughout her life and career. Her passing marked a profound loss not only for her fans, but also for those closest to her, especially her Golden Girls co-stars Bea Arthur, Betty White, and Rue McClanahan, who had shared the screen with her for 7 seasons and developed a deep bond with her off-screen as well. All 3 actresses expressed their heartbreak upon hearing of Getty's death, sharing in interviews and public statements that it was difficult to lose a colleague and friend who had once brought so much life and energy to their days on set. Bea Arthur, in particular, remarked on how painful it had been to witness Estelle's decline, recalling that during the later years of Getty's illness, the disease had progressed so far that Estelle could no longer hold a conversation or even recognize her former co-stars. The vibrant woman who once delivered punchlines with impeccable timing and warmth had been overtaken by an illness that gradually disconnected her from the people and world she loved. In fact, Estelle Getty had reportedly begun showing the first signs of cognitive difficulty during the filming of The Golden Girls, which ran from 1985 to 1992. Despite having had a rich and successful stage career prior to her breakout television role, she had spent over 3 decades performing in theater productions. Getty began struggling with memorizing her lines, an issue that became more noticeable as the series progressed. Initially, these lapses were dismissed as typical aging or the stress of working on a demanding network sitcom. However, as time went on and her memory challenges intensified, producers were forced to adapt by having her rely on cue cards placed around the set. Even with this support, Getty's performance remained deeply moving and believable to viewers, a testament to her strength as an actress even in the face of growing adversity. In addition to Lewy body dementia, Getty also battled several other health conditions in her later years. She suffered from osteoporosis, a bone-thinning disease that can lead to severe pain and fractures. And there were also suspicions that she may have had Parkinson's disease due to the similarity in some of her symptoms, such as tremors and stiffness. However, after further evaluation by medical specialists, the initial diagnosis of Parkinson's was revised. Doctors ultimately determined that her condition was, in fact, dementia with Lewy bodies, a diagnosis that can be difficult to confirm as it shares overlapping symptoms with both Parkinson's and Alzheimer's diseases. The last years of Estelle Getty's life were spent away from the spotlight that had once embraced her so warmly. She had retired from acting and lived quietly in Los Angeles, supported by her family and a team of caregivers. Though she faded from public view, the legacy she left behind remained powerful. Millions of fans around the world continue to cherish her work, especially her role as Sophia Petrillo, a character who was funny, fearless, and wise, much like Estelle herself. Her courage in facing a relentless disease, as well as the love and laughter she brought to the world, continue to be remembered with admiration and affection.